as you mentioned, on Chingy. So I would more prefer that they will go with a CPBF because if I recall right, Chingy plays a really good CPBF. Yes, and there we go, a CPBF pick. Because this allows him to actually not get caught from that SNK will put on him, and he can just use his Rose defensive out of the Ordain and continue to actually apply the pressure down.
I like how you said it's Rose defensive and not Rose offensive. Although,
yeah.
Right, very good wordplay on
Yep.
that. I mean, it is a Rose defensive if you use it defensively and not offensively. So, draft has restarted. So the side of Infamous do actually have got 40 seconds to decide what to counter a BF with Rose defensive. So, I mean, into a Baptiste. Baptiste is a good flex pick, yeah?
Yeah.
So with a BF, you kind of want to overpower him in that of the early game. And Rome Baptiste is really good early game Rome. Granted, you are very, very squishy as compared to the other Roma. So the side of Infamous will wrap up their team comp with Taka. Taka, double weapon blade Taka going into a BF in the early game will be very, very strong. Do you agree?
Yes, even before he was picking Taka, and I didn't want to interrupt you, I even thought that Taka was the perfect pick because you can't go for Celeste like what they used earlier they did because it was not so successful. So even though there was a chance, but it's more of the mindset thing. But with a Taka over here, it's hard for a CPBF to land his B ability, or it's even harder for a Baron to actually lock down a Taka. And it's really just free roaming for the Taka, in my opinion, because there's no true lockdown that Team ASN provides. So this will create a lot of space for the Vox and Baptiste to play around. And for the last and final game, I'm really rooting for Team's Infamous composition.
All right, so again, it's for Team Infamous. For the previous match, you didn't quite have the caster curse on you, so
yeah,
maybe
man.
I must agree with you for the first time in the game. But then there is one thing we must consider is that Bright Bulwark on ladder is a thing to go up against Taka. So Taka has to play around that, around the Bright Bulwark, just so he do not add Retsu into a wall of magic. Anyways, we are jumping in a fold right now, and let's see if ASN can roast defensive or offensively to the win for split 2 of week 1. And casting alongside me, of course, we have the wonderful I Request duo. Take it away.
Hello. Can you hear me loud and clear? I hope so.
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear, as you hoped so.
Oh, that is good to hear, because we are in the finals between ASN and Infamous, the third match as well. They brought it to the third point, and I believe, they've got that Lyra again on the side of ASN. Are they going to do the same thing they did before, or Infamous going to be onto it this time? We'll just have to wait and see, because it's so close between these two teams, as we've seen in the previous matches. Look at this. Lane is facing off. Roma's facing off right now. Aeon is going to be able to jump back from that one. I don't even know why I'm in the play-by-play mode already for this initial fight, as there's a bit of poke damage, but I think I'm just that hyped for it to see who's going to win between ASN and Infamous. So make sure to all you viewers to put in chat which team you're cheering for and show your support there. But in that question, I'm not sure if I caught it, I was a bit busy before, but which team is it that you're looking for the win, maybe based on draft or personal favor into this finals?
Personally, I really want ASN to win, just to put out a bold statement out there that even underdogs can beat the top teams on the scoreboard, and even then, like, I know a lot of players out there. I mean, Infamous has got a lot of supporters, and I do not mean to offend anybody, but ASN has been playing well and very, very well so far. So I hope ASN can clinch this win just to boost their confidence. So honestly, they are a very strong team. They are in no way underdogs. Granted, they did come from the Challenger Series in the previous season, but even then, ASN, they are looking very strong coming into this match going up against Infamous. They even did manage to force the round, into a game of 3, whereas the other teams did not.
And that is a very true statement, man. The fact that ASN have proven themselves to get there. And we saw that maybe in the last game, it was more infamous fashion for the way they won and held control of that match. And it's just what we're going to have to see break down here. Whether it's going to be infamous who hold that control and stop ASN from getting any objectives, or whether ASN are going to be able to have what they had in that first game, that spark, where they got their ace 3 minutes in, and then were able to just continue on from there and pull through strong, especially with that Lyra who's on the team at the moment. Boy on that Lyra, and the amazing play they were able to pull off with the backdoor and getting into the base, taking the first win away from Infamous.
Well,
So
yeah.
right now, you know, I'm agreeing with you in saying that I would like to see ASM win, because it is always nice to see the underdogs win. And I'm a bit stuck on this in terms of draft, because they have a very good team on the side of ASN. They have that Black Feather that synergizes very well with the Lyra as well as the Baron, because you've got that front line for Baron, so he can sit on the back line and do his job. But we saw previously how when it was Kestrel in the jungle, I believe, or Kestrel on the lane, on that weapon power Kestrel.
Yeah.
And they were able to get around onto the back line and get that Baron. Very sneaky steal there by Chingy, able to get that mid camp that Infamous and Sohab worked on. So yeah, it really is going to come down to how this game transitions into the mid and how the general fights break down and the flow of things go. I feel if Infamous are able to continue as they did in that previous match and get very objective controlled like they do so well, then yes, it will be an Infamous game. But I'm wondering if we'll see any kind of ASN upset, whether they're able to make any plays happen early on, or if they're just able to hold their ground against Infamous.
Yo, yeah, I must agree with you. And there's one thing about the side of Infamous is that I see a lot of respect coming out from them. They are allowing Chingy on this crystal black feather, you know, to just farm up into level 6, get the Shatter Glass as soon as possible. We do see Chingy getting spotted by Uni. And then we do see a rather passive gameplay coming out from both teams, just respecting the fact that, you know, they are the top teams after all. And of course, we do see a lot of respect coming out from the side of Infamous. Like I said earlier on, Chingy does go in.
Ooh, but it's going to be Chingy with the dive in there onto Uni, and the Ordained's not going to keep him locked down for low. Chingy does have that Rose offensive at the moment, and Aeon might be the next target with SNK looking for him. And it's going to actually be Target jumping on, and they're going to be able to find the kill. However, they won't. Ordained is going to stun out the Black Feather, and Target's just going low on each team. Except on the side of Uni, they are on the side of Infamous, I should say. Did I cut out there?
No, you did not cut out.
No, I realized what happened now. It's okay. But yeah, I was just talking about the sustain that both teams have. ASM with the Lyra, of course, but on the side of Infamous, they have Uni, who's going to have that Kaku. He's going to be able to jump in there, deal with damage, and then get out with that and have that healing and speed boost. So far, 0 kills at 5 minutes 50 in, and you said these teams are respecting each other, but they're also just playing very cautiously, because this is the third matchup and the match that decides who gets the final spot, the first place spot for Split 2 Week 1.
Well, it is the first place, right? The coveted first place spot. I mean, it is always good. Oh, Chingy might be caught out in the Ordained, and they might engage.
Looks like he's going to be able to Rose offensive his way out there. He was fighting off with the on point, able to get that fortified health as well, which is going to help him out with diving in. And it works so well with this Lyra, who's going to just heal him back up to full health. And then he's going to go back in for a bit poke, but should be careful, because Ordained is going to be a bit of a problem for him. And I think it's the bad mojo stopping Chingy from backing there, but I think it's very similar. Oh, Chingy with a lot of damage on Spaghetti, but Taka isn't too far away, does jump onto Chingy for fortified health, going to keep him alive for a second there. Managed to get the first blood for the side of ASM, which is the only advantage they're going to get there. But it's going to be the trade out, Chingy going down for Spaghetti. And now I don't think Taka has the damage just yet to jump onto Aeon. Meanwhile, with Tezaboy being there with the heals, but Tezaboy might fall if he goes too low and too deep into the jungle. There's going to be the support coming out from Aeon trying to stop it, but they're able to pick up a kill.
But we didn't, yeah.
Carry on.
I'm so sorry I cut you off right there. But we did see Infamous actually did have a response to that of ASN's Baron in the previous game. But even in this game, we did see Uni playing so passively and constantly just taken down to low health. Even that fight alone, when Uni did decide to add Zuretsu in, but he's followed up with an Ordain just to stop Chingy. Problem with that is that Uni's immediately taken down to a quarter health, just from one on point on Chingy. Chingy already sitting on a Shatter Glass, building into a broken mid very, very soon. So, you know, I think both of these match, in this particular match, usually when we see a Taka, you want the Taka to be really, really aggressive, and that's really just how you win in the early game. If you're going to allow Black Feather to go into the late game, and of course, then Black Feather will just destroy your entire team, because Crystal Black Feather relies on levels of the level 8 and of course items as well. And same with Aeon on that Baron, they rely on items and of course that of level.
We see Chingy now getting caught out, and Voxuzen wait for it to make sure they secure that kill. Infamous want to take this lead slowly but surely, and it's kind of the trouble we saw before with, I believe it was Aka on the side of ASN in the previous match. No, they had double weapon power. It was the Cruel, that's the one. It was the Cruel on the side of ASN who just had trouble diving into the enemy team comp because of that Batiste. And now we see Chingy joining back into the fight. He is full health, so they have a bit of an advantage here, but he's going really deep into this one. Does get caught out by the Ordained once again, but he's going to manage to find the kill onto Taka. Vox just barely getting out of there alive, and it looks like they'll find the kill onto Batiste as well. So big turnaround for ASM there, and really what they're looking for. But you can see the trouble when is even an initial fight when Chingy dives in and just gets caught out by the Ordained. And he does have the Rose offensive up, but not always. There's only 2 stacks, so he's got to time that right and use it wisely.
Well, yeah, I must agree with you. And there is one thing you must note, that in team fights wise, the side of ASN would definitely come out on top. But what happened then, and that allowed the side of Infamous to actually pick up that first turret, was because Chingy was caught out, like you said, by that Ordain, and he refused to Rose offensive out because, I mean, Rose defensive, I guess it's great utility for your side, but then there are better users for it, like to deal damage, especially as a Crystal, as a CP Black Feather. So honestly, so if they were going to engage in the team fight, the side of ASN would definitely be coming out on top. So I don't think ASN should be playing so passively and allow the side of Infamous to just continuously push the turret. They should be more proactive and of course more dynamic with their engages and just going almost immediately with Tezaboy on the Arcane Passage, and then of course Bright forward.
This is the thing, it's what Infamous is so good at pushing these objectives and taking control of the match. And you're right, if ASN aren't able to make a turn on this and aren't able to make a big impression, get a lot of kills, and most likely they need the ace, because we know before in the previous match they weren't able to find it, and it just left them in a similar position to where they are now. They're even in kills, but they're not able to get the kills that matter for the objectives they need. And Uni going very low. It's going to be Chingy once again getting stunned out, even while having 2 charges of that Rose offensive available. Is going to jump in now to get the kill onto Batiste, hand it over to Aeon, and followed up with the kill onto Spaghetti. Taka actually sticking around. Why did he jump in? He might be caught out and might hand over the ace. Aeon's going to jump under turret with the jump jets, and there's the double kill. There's the ace. Infamous practically giving them that one.
I mean, Taka probably had Zuretsu in thinking that Bright Bulwark would be down soon, but that wasn't the case at all, and he just went right smack into that wall. Like I said, Chingy do not and refuse to use Rose defensively just to get out of Bright Ball. He'd rather wait for the Ordained. Yeah, sorry. He'd rather wait for Ordained to just pass over before he decides to engage. If not, then he'd rather risk the stun. I'm not sure how it's working out for him so well. I mean, I'm sure it's working out for him so far, but the side of Infamous is just not making full use of the fact that Chingy is stunned out for that mere second, and they should have capitalized on it and just immediately dive on Chingy.
Oh, you could see in the early game they definitely were able to capitalize on those moments and where they were able to catch out Chingy on their own. But now you're right, it is a bit of a risk and reward thing that Chingy is holding on to those Rose offensive stacks, knowing that they need to be able to stick to the enemy and clean up for the ace where they're able to get the objectives. And I think ASN would notice this by now, that is where they are probably lacking in terms of not being able to secure these objectives. But it's good to see them to take a turret in return from the side of Infamous, because it shows that they might just be able to transition into this mid game and take control of the first Kraken that comes up.
Definitely. I mean, we do see ASN sitting on top, just a 1.6k gold lead on top of that of Infamous. I think Infamous just cleared out the gold lead. Initially, ASN has got, like, say, a 2k gold lead, but Infamous kind of balanced the gold lead out just by taking the decent gold payout from the gold mine, and thus balancing out the lead. But there is one thing, though. I want to see ASN really doing and picking up the engagements and engages and just going in really, really aggressively and dynamically, because they have what it takes. They have the damage, they have the team comp, they have Lyra for the sustain as well. Whereas on the side of Infamous, they can stun you out and they can deter you from fighting, but that's about it.
Now we see Infamous being the ones going with the engage. Iron Cannon is going to drop, but before that Baron drops, and it looks like Chingy trying to do what they can on the backline, but not quite able to find the kill on Spaghetti, and this is the engage Infamous we're looking for, and it's definitely in their favor right now. They might not be able to get the ace, however, unless Tezza Boy goes too close, which they do. They get caught out and ordained, and that is not a good situation. Tezza Boy should just back before, because Uni is looking for the kill, but he isn't going to find it right now. Looks like X-Retsu wasn't up. If it was, he definitely would have had the range to get that kill. But Infamous bringing this one back around and making it the even game it should be. If not, it's still in Infamous's favor, if anything, by taking that second turret.
Well, yeah, but there is one thing I would like to note in that team fight was that Aeon222 was caught out. I mean, not caught out in the sense where, you know, he was roaming alone, but it was more as if because Chingy was in a brush and did not react fast enough, allowed the entirety of Infamous to just jump on top of Aeon, remove him from equation, and immediately turn their attention down to Chingy on that Crystal Black Feather. And Lyra really had no answer to that as well, because Bright Bulwark was burned, and Infamous saw that and immediately just capitalized on the fact that Lyra is without that of Bright Bulwark. They are now pushing for a fight. Kraken is up. We are 15 minutes into game right now. The next big fight will definitely determine who will have the edge, whether or not you go to ASN or Infamous. I mean, we've seen ASN being able to push Infamous back into the turret.
It's going to be Infamous with the engage once again, but Baron able to actually jump around this time and is looking for the kill on Spaghetti, but Spaghetti going to win that one out. Kill actually going over to Taka right now, and this is very good positioning by Infamous here, being able to, oh my, oh, that was so close between Uni and Chingy. It could have gone either way, but Chingy, Uni able to secure that one, and they're going to leave Spaghetti to push down the anchor turret for the side of and this is looking like it could be an Infamous game here, as they're going to take this turret and take the Kraken at the same time.
This might look like an ASN, Infamous game indeed. I mean, you have Lyra on the side of ASN. You can't quite give them that edge, or you'll just see another Brand corner, if not just an epic backdoor with Arcane Passage. And they do have the Kraken right now, and they may be looking to end the game. I mean, they have enough damage at this point in time. And Spaghetti cannot quite wait till Baron farms up, because if Baron does farm up, what happens is that Spaghetti is close to full build at this point in time. There is no reason to drag the game any longer. One of the biggest mistakes in one of the games was allowing the game to pass 20 minutes for the side. I think it was
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So I think it was the side of Brand Chong that allowed that. I think one of the teams allowed Brand Chong to just farm up into the 20 minutes mark, and thus giving them the advantage at the end of the day. So they might look to end this game immediately and as fast as possible.
And we see Ion Cannon going down on the backline. They might be able to find the kill on Spaghetti, but it looks like Chingy already fairly low and Renewal being used on both sides of the team. And oh, Spaghetti going so low, but they managed to find the kill in the end. But meanwhile, it's been Uni working on that turret along help side of the Kraken. And it's getting so close here. Can Aeon finish this one out? They need to worry about the Kraken at the base as well. But it looks like Lyra's going to be able to pick up a kill with the Imperial Sigil onto the Batiste. But Kraken only needs one more here on the Crystal. And that's going to be the game. GG all around. And Infamous hold their crown as the first place on the point standing, especially being the first place winners for a split to week 1 of the Vainglory 8 Southeast Asia.
But we must agree, like both of us did agree, that ASN put up a really good fight going up against Infamous, and I think Infamous, they are a really good team, and if ASN can put up this good performance to them, I'm expecting a lot more from the side of ASN Gaming. Just a quickly run through of the builds. Aeon was forced, like said, to pick up that light shield, or sorry, kinetic shield building into that Aegis really early in the game, and that would stand out on his damage. He needs the second Tyrant's Monaco to output a lot of damage, whereas on the side of Infamous, or rather Spaghetti on that box, you see he has already full build. He has got the Halcyon charges, he has the 3 damage items that he really just needs, and two defenses as well. So honestly, if the game had the game dragged any longer than the side of ASN